Okay, hello everyone. Lauren asked for a Livy passage, so I thought that I would get one on the day before the exams. So let's go through this, the Arruns Tarquinius Livy passage number 72. Let's get cracking. Alright, here's the Latin translation. Take a look at it, pause it, then move on. We'll go through it together. First sentence. Postquam in agrum Romanum ventum est obviam hosti consules eunt, Valerius quadrato agmine petitem ducit. Brutus ad explorandum cum exquitato antecesit. All right, let's do this first bit. Postquam, after. Now it's ventum est. Looks like it should be it was come, but that wouldn't make any sense. We've got this impersonal verb here, like there's a few of them that we've actually met. Juvat esse, those sorts of things. So after they entered into the Roman territory, into the Roman land. Obviam hosti consules eunt. After they entered the Roman land, the consules is the nominative, the consuls. Obviam eo is I go to meet, went to meet. Hosti takes the dative, went to meet their enemy. Valerius led the peditem, led the infantry in a quadrato ablative, agmine ablative as well, in a square formation. Brutus ad explorandum cum equitatu antecesit. Brutus antecedo, I go forward. Brutus went forward, cum equitatu, went forward with the cavalry, ad explorandum, literally for the purpose of exploring, to explore. Ad plus the gerund, obviously explorandum not agreeing with anything, so it is a gerund. Ad explorandum. Next sentence. Eodem modo primus eques hostium agminis fuit. Praerat Arruns Tarquinius filius rex. Rex ipse cum legionibus sequebatur. In the same way, ablative, primus eques hostium agminis fuit. The primus, the first of the hostium agminis, of the enemy battle line, fuit, was eques, nominative, the cavalry. Praerat Arruns Tarquinius here, the nominative. Arruns Tarquinius, the filius regis, the son genitive of the king. Praerat, from praesum, I am in charge. Arruns Tarquinius, the son of the king, was in charge. Rex ipse, the king himself, sequebatur, was following, cum legionibus, with his legions. Sequebatur looks passive but is active. It is a deponent verb. Arruns ubi ex lictoribus procul consulum esse, deinde jam propius ac certius facie quoque brutum cognovit inflammatus ira. We pause for the excitement for a second and we say, Arruns ubi, when, now. We look through all this, where's our main verb? We don't get the main verb until we get to cognovit. When he learned, procul, from far away, from a distance, ex lictoribus, by the lictors, and because we've seen a learning word, verb of saying or thinking, I'm looking for an accusative, consulem, and an infinitive, esse. So, when he learned from a distance, ex lictoribus, from the lictors, that consulum esse, that it was a consul, deinde, then, as he jam propius, as he now got closer, propius there, that ius ending, telling me that we are dealing here with a comparative adverb, as indeed we have with the certius, which is also going to be a comparative adverb, when he realized from the lictors, from far away, that it was a consul, and then, as he grew closer and was more certain by his facie ablative, by his face, that it was also Brutus, inflammatus ira, having been inflamed with anger. Ira there would be an ablative, having been inflamed by with anger. Next sentence. Ille est vir inquit qui nos extores expuret patria, ipse en ille nostris decoratus in signibus magnificae incedit, diregum ultores adeste. That is the man, he said. That is the man, he said. Qui, relative pronoun, who expulit, who forced, nos, accusative, us, extores, in exile, patria, from our fatherland. N. So, ipse, he himself, that man himself, incedit, marches on, decoratus, having been decorated, I just said decorated, but decoratus there is going to be a PPP, perfect passive participle in the nominative. So that man marches on, decorated magnificently, magnifique, decorated magnificently in nostris insignibus, with our own honours. Di regum adeste ultores. May the gods be present as regum ultores, as avengers regum of the gods. Sorry, of the kings, as avengers of the kings. The gods be present, imperative as avengers of kings. Concitat calcaribus equum atque in ipsum infestus consulem derigit, sensit in se iri brutus, decorum erat tum ipsis capessere pugnam ducibus, avide itaque se certamini offert. Concitat, he sped on his equum, his horse, calcaribus, with his spurs, atque, and he derigit, derigo here I steer, and he steered himself, infestus, dangerously, in ipsum consulem, against the consul himself, and he headed dangerously for the consul himself. Sensit, in se iri Brutus. Brutus, the nominative. Look for your nominative, look for your subject, look for your verb, look for your object. Brutus sensed in se iri, that he was coming upon him. See a sensing, a verb of thinking or saying, and I'm looking for an accusative infinitive. Brutus realized that he was coming upon him. Decorum erat tum ipsis capessere pugnam ducibus. It was considered honourable in those days for generals, decorum erat. It was considered honourable. It was honourable, tum, then, for ducibus, for generals themselves, capessere, to literally take on a fight, to involve themselves in combat. Avide itaque se certamini offert. I wonder if Livy is here looking at that sort of Roman and indeed very modern way of looking at things that's happened throughout time, of saying back in the day, in those days people knew how to be well behaved, people knew how to be brave, etc., how things have changed. The Ciceronian quote, I suppose, o tempora, o mores, or the times, or the customs, that maybe this is Livy saying the same thing. Back then, people knew how to fight. Avide itaque se certamini offert. And so he eagerly offered himself certamini, for the struggle. Adeoque infestis animis concurrerunt, nuter dum hostem vulneraret, sui protegendi corpus memor, ut contrario ictu per parmam uterque transfixus moribundi ex equis lapsi sint. And concurrerunt, they clashed together with infestis animis, with fierce hearts, adeo, to such an extent, as soon as I see a trigger word like that, I'm thinking I'm going to be looking later on for an ut, which indeed I'm going to see around about here, and I'm going to probably be dealing with a result clause. And they clash together with fierce hearts to such an extent, comma, neither memor, mindful, protegendi corpus, of protecting, neither mindful of protecting his corpus, his body. That actually has to be, again, a gerund, because protegendi isn't agreeing with the corpus there. That would have to be corporis if it was going to be a gerundive. So neither mindful of defending his own body, dum, as long as while he was wounding his enemy. Neither mindful of protecting his body as long as he could wound his enemy, comma. So, where was I? Sorry, they clashed together with such fierce hearts, neither mindful of protecting their own body while they could wound their enemy, comma, that, transfixus, perfect passive participle here, having been pierced, that uter rather, having been pierced, that each of them, having been pierced, per parmam, through their shield. The parma was the little round shield. That tells us that actually we're looking at Rome. Well, of course we're looking at early Roman history because we're looking at the last king of Rome. But this is before the Romans had their scutum, had their large rectangular shield. They had a parma, which is a little round shield. I don't think any connection to chicken parma, although it is from the land of, or the area, the Roman area of Parma, where you get obviously Parmesan cheese from, I suppose. Anyway, I digress. So each of them having been pierced through their small round shield by ictu contrario, by the other's blow, by the other's strike. Lapsi sint. We have here a deponent verb in the perfect passive subjunctive form, but of course it's active because it's a deponent verb, labor, that each of them lapsi sint. Perfect here, subjunctive. That each of them fell down, moribundi, about to die, dead, ex equis, from their horses. Okay, hope that you enjoyed that, and I will see you all next lesson.